Welcome into the Auburn Equestrian Report as we talk it over with Tigers head coach Greg Williams. Auburn closed its Southeastern Conference regular season schedule, falling at South Carolina this past weekend. Auburn steps outside the league to host New Mexico State this Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Coach, a tough one, and you knew going in that was kind of a winner-takes-all event. You win that, you're the number one seed at the SEC tournament coming in.
Right. Well, that, and they're the number one in the country. We probably would have taken over the number one spot in the national polls as well, but really what mattered was trying to get that number one seed for the tournament. But didn't happen, so now we just got a tougher route, but that's okay. That's okay. I just can't think of the last time we've probably lost two in a row like we have these past 2 weeks. And the thing is, we're not riding that poorly. I mean, there's a couple breaks here and there that could have been difference makers for us, but I'm still liking the way the team's going and their attitudes, and I think we'll be fine. But we need to turn it around. New Mexico's a very good team. They don't have, maybe some of the wins, against the higher ranked teams like we did that keep us up there in the polls as high. But they've been riding very well, so we got our work cut out for us.
Dissect the loss at South Carolina for us, if you would.
The biggest part was I'd say a couple bad breaks on Western, but we had that one in close. What we needed to do, they haven't lost their points on the hunt seat side. South Carolina has not all year. So we knew we were going to have to be strong there, and we really just found ourselves in a big deficit right off, and that's something I don't know that our team's ever experienced on the hunt seat side like that. So they're going to be hungry. And I think that you'll probably be able to see that against New Mexico State Saturday, and you'll probably see it build all the way through the SECs.
How do you look at this week? Do you look at this competition Saturday differently now than you would have had you gone into Georgia and or South Carolina and picked up wins at either of those two places? Now, as you mentioned, it's uncharacteristic to lose two in a row like this, and now you've got New Mexico State here on Saturday.
Well, we do. We need to turn it around just for our team. So we've got to pick up a win. But I think also now for the national rankings, this becomes a bigger deal. Now because we're sitting on that threshold of 4, and even though we use the SEC tournament, we'll go into our rankings as well. We've got to have this one. We need to not just win it close. We actually need to win this one pretty convincingly. So they've got their work cut out for Saturday.
It will be good to get back home.
Absolutely.
Georgia and South Carolina both were on the road.
Yeah. I mean, winning road meets in our sport is just very hard, and we know that. It is that way for all sports, but particularly when they know the horses, because we're on those horses going head to head on them. The home horse advantage is huge. So it'll be nice that we get to have that back this Saturday.
Talk about this week of practice, Coach. What do you work on this week as you get ready for New Mexico State? And maybe you're preparing Auburn more than anything else at this point.
Absolutely. We're probably going to do the same things that we were building on for last week and maybe didn't do just quite enough. It's some of the small differences. Every week's a whole new set of patterns and things that they've got to learn and be ready for each meet, like any team would have to do, just scouting that part out. But we're going to know the horses in the lineup and just taking care of the little things. And I don't think we really have to change that much. We just dropped the ball a couple times this past weekend.
Coach, talk a little bit about the pregame preparation when the team gets to the arena on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
What is their routine like at that point?
Well, they start really early. I mean, if we've got a 1 o'clock meet, they have to be out there at 8, and they're pretty much going wide open from the moment they get there. All the horses have to be up, they have to be cleaned up, banded, their manes braided, and they're the only ones that know how to do all that. Okay. So our event management can come out and help move jumps, but that's pretty much it. Everything else we do takes a level of skill that at Auburn, that's our team. Right. So they have to do that all themselves. So it's pretty busy, and then they've got to warm up all the horses. It takes a good bit of conditioning and time on their backs just to kind of get them settled in so they'll be ready to compete. And then even right before our meets, they have to show all the maneuvers to the horses. So, again, we got to have a set of riders on that. All the riding has to be done by people not competing that day too. That's a rule. So you've got to have enough people on your roster to make sure that part's covered as well, and that they can actually properly, what we call, set the horses up. You want the horses. We take a lot of pride in putting on a good meet, so we want the horses to go good for both teams. We just want to beat people fair and square. So we want to have riders that can set the horses up properly for whoever's going to draw them first.
This New Mexico State meet takes on a little bit of a different importance, doesn't it?
It does, and that's something we talked about on the bus. We knew we talked about the SEC seed we lost and what they can do, and that they were feeling it. They want to go play again, but I said we have got to forget about the SECs right now and just focus on New Mexico State. So we'll see how their attitudes look today in practice. We gave them the day off yesterday, and I don't know if we were giving them the day off for our horses, but it was nice to have that, but now we're gonna have to hit it pretty hard.
Auburn and New Mexico State, 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon at the Auburn Horse Park. Thank you for the visit. All the best, War Eagle.
Thank you, War Eagle.
Tigers head coach Greg Williams on the Auburn Equestrian Report.